everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Knee Slapping K-Pop podcast. I am Kayla, and today I am joined with Sammi.
Hello, hello.
And today we come with you with a fun episode, kind of an introduction to Taskmaster episode,
Yes.
because we will be doing a lot of Taskmaster content in the upcoming months. So we figured we should just do a nice introductory episode, talk about Taskmaster, what it is, and then tier rank all the seasons while we're here, because why not? We haven't done a tier rank in a while, so
Yep.
feels like a good opportunity to do that.
And we have, not even in passing, we have genuinely just mentioned a Taskmaster all the time on
All
just
the time.
regular episodes of this podcast,
Mhm.
where we're like, but Taskmaster though. We made a K-pop Taskmaster last year.
We did
Like,
do that.
we're in with this show.
We're real into Taskmaster, and if
It's
you don't watch
such a good
Taskmaster,
show,
you should
though.
also be in on Taskmaster, because it's a
amazing.
delightful show.
So essentially, I guess we should give a little background on what is Taskmaster.
Yes,
Because
of
I
course.
don't fucking know what audience this is gonna find. We're
No.
a K-pop podcast that
Talking
also talks
about
about
Taskmaster.
that also talks about the British panel game show Taskmaster. So essentially, Taskmaster, it's a British show. It's a British game show, started by Alex Horne, where he is the Taskmaster's assistant. And then Greg Davies is the Taskmaster, and essentially 5 British comedians, actors.
Sometimes
I don't know what
comedians,
what the criteria of the show's
Entertainers
casting
of
is.
sorts,
Entertainers of some kind.
Yeah.
Go on. And
Like-
now it's 10 episodes, but like for the length of time, they get these random tasks, silly tasks to do, and then
Mhm.
Greg judges them, and it's arbitrary, and it's great.
Yes,
And
yes.
Amazing, and I love everything about it.
It's an absolutely fantastic show to watch. It's so
it is
funny.
an institution. An
Yes.
institution for a country I don't live in, but I think it's a British institution.
Absolutely.
As
And-
British as the Queen.
What's great for everyone who doesn't live over there on the UK is that you can watch all of it on YouTube, because the Taskmaster YouTube is very friendly to their and nice to their international fans, because they know they have a
Yes.
lot of it, so they upload every season on full episodes on YouTube, as well as the non-UK season. So Taskmaster New Zealand season 1 and 2 is up there. Taskmaster Australia is getting put up there. There's other countries worth of Taskmaster
Yes.
that are on that YouTube channel. Like, it's a very accessible show. And I feel like the team behind it, Alex Horne especially, do a lot, and they really go far out of their way to make it as accessible as possible. And that's something I really appreciate.
Oh
Makes it
yeah,
even
no,
better.
it's an extremely because at this point, I think the last season, it used to be that it would air in the UK and then you'd get it later on,
Mhm.
and now they had it at least for season 16, the last season, they had it simulcasting. It would finish in the UK and then it would just go on to YouTube immediately.
Yeah.
And I think that's a super good way to do it, because there's absolutely no way we would be able to view it otherwise.
No. And I feel like they are smart enough to know that, if they didn't put it up, people would be uploading it illegally anyway, so it's
I
they
watched
might as
it
well
illegally.
just
Though,
put it up there.
Yeah, no, you can, especially because you also see that happen with the fact that we do have the first 2 New Zealand seasons, but I
Mhm.
think there've been 4 or 5 New Zealand seasons so far.
Right.
Also, this is one of the shows where all of the spin-offs are
really
equal-
good.
equally not
Well,
not
not
equally.
America. Not America.
The American
one
one
was
is
bad.
shitty.
That one
Don't
was
watch
really
that
bad.
one. That one they didn't put that one on the YouTube channel. That one's been scrubbed from the internet.
No one needs to watch that one.
I've never even watched the whole thing because I can't stand it. But
It's
I've
bad.
seen
The
clips
vibes
of it,
are
and it's
the vibes
so
are
bad.
off in the American one.
But the New Zealand one's really good. The Australian one's really good. I've seen clips of there's Swedish ones. There's I haven't seen the German one, but Swedish, Norwegian, from Denmark. There's a bunch of them, and from any of the clips I've seen, they're all very funny.
Mhm.
And
all
so-
of the international versions know how to match the vibe of the original Taskmaster.
But the vibe is different. So the main the core of the show is always the Taskmaster's relationship to the Taskmaster's assistant.
Right.
And Greg and Alex, it's like a humiliation ritual in a way.
Yeah.
Because for people that don't know, Greg Davies used to be a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't know that fact, and then you find that out after you've seen him, it makes perfect sense. The man,
oh yeah,
he was a drama teacher, but he was still a teacher. Like, there's a thing about him. And so he's very, like, he's also, I feel like, maybe 6'7", it seems like, on that show. He's massive. He's super tall and intimidating. Huge man.
Yeah.
And Alex is not short, but is like, there's a thing there. And I think it's less like, for example, in New Zealand with Paul and the Taskmaster on that show, whose name escapes me.
Oh, I don't know his name.
What is the New Zealand Taskmaster?
What is his name?
Hold on. Jeremy.
Okay.
Jeremy's
Paul,
great.
Paul's really the one that I remember.
Paul is the driving force of that show.
Yeah.
Love Paul. Paul's
and then
great.
Australia, you got the double Tom.
You
Taskmaster,
got Tom and Lesser
Tom and Tom, yeah.
And they're almost a double act.
They're very
it feels
fun.
Like. They're so fun together. I've seen the Portuguese Taskmaster. That one is really where they're a double act together, because they have to translate the comedy to whatever, like, it works within the country that they're in, and I don't think, like, humiliation-based comedy like that works as well in certain countries, but it's super fun. And, like, I'll watch it. It's amazing, and we love everything about it. So we've seen all of it. All 16 seasons.
Yes. Oh, yeah. So for the tier list we're only doing the original, like, 16 UK seasons. Yes. We're not including any of the special episodes or international seasons on this one. We will probably put all of the, like, Champion of Champions, New Year's Treat type stuff with the, like, Australia, New Zealand seasons and do that another time. Because it feels like there's enough of those that we could do that.
So we're also just gonna go with, like, we're gonna go through each season, because that's probably the best way to talk about each season individually, is to then put them in a tier ranker against all the other seasons. I think that's how Greg would have wanted it.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot of opinions. Now, a lot of especially the early seasons, are shorter. I think season 2 is only, like, 5 episodes.
I think it's only 5 episodes, yeah.
Compared to now, which they're all 10 episodes. I think it's, like, around season 6 or 7, that they started being 10 episodes long. And so, but we're gonna go through their favorite casts. We're gonna go through our favorite, like, if any tasks stand out. So I would say, I don't know if you can spoil Taskmaster, because even if I describe what happens, I think that you will have more fun watching it. But I would go watch every single season and then come back. Yeah. We'll wait. We'll still be here.
We'll be here. And then you can join in on the fun with us.
Absolutely.
Because, yeah, it's a hard show to talk about without kind of spoiling a lot of things on the show. Oh, yeah. So,
but also, how do you spoil just insanity?
Pure comedy, yeah.
Pure comedy. So, season 1 is proof of concept, because also, I think it was done at, like, a festival. It wasn't even, like, for a show anymore. Because I think the history of it is that Alex really just wanted to be at a festival. He wanted to win the Edinburgh Fringe Festival.
Yeah, and then, like, Alex would just, like, email tasks to his comedian friends, these random tasks, and have them do it, and then he would present this whole panel on it, and that's sort of where the whole...
he managed to get Greg involved, which is a godsend for that show. Yeah. Absolutely love that for him. So this one is, I believe it's 6 episodes long. So the cast on that show is Frank Skinner, Josh Widdicombe, Roisin Conati, Ramesh Ranganathan, and Tim Key. And dear God, it is
such a good first season of this show.
Truly an amazing cast. I think that even if this cast had gone on to, like, later seasons of this show, because we'll get to it, but the tasks on this season are very simple. They get more complicated as we go, but I think it's a great group of people. I think it's a great, as we'll see with other casts, I think this is a great combination of, like, thinking styles, if you will. Like, there's the people that go, like, super one-way with it. There's the people that think more laterally. Tim Keyes is one of the first people that, 1, tried to cheat and didn't succeed. Yeah. And 2, that just was, like, super out of the box with his thinking.
So we get cheating immediately. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Love the cheating.
Yes.
I have a couple, because in my last rewatch, because not only have we seen every 16 seasons of the
multiple
show,
times.
but we've seen it multiple times.
I've seen so many of these series
It's
multiple
amazing.
times.
I started just keeping a list of my favorite things.
Mm-hmm.
1, the first task. So the
That's
format of the
that
show,
is the best introduction to the show is the first task.
The format of the show is the beginning is a prize task where they have to bring an item and then based on a criteria. And like some of it it starts with like bring the best comfort item to bring the best long skinny thing that's bigger than a cat. You know,
we get
like,
real specific.
It gets real specific because
yeah.
they never reuse them.
Right.
Even though I think by season 16 we could start reusing things.
Right.
But then I believe you get 4 tasks. And then you get a final live task that just takes place on the stage, and that's usually like a game or a challenge or whatever.
Fun little live game.
Fun little live game. The meat of the show is those pre-recorded tasks. And the first pre-recorded task you get on the show is just, there's a watermelon in a different room of the house. Eat as much watermelon as you can in a minute. And the sheer difference in how these 5 people undertake that task is pure Taskmaster.
It's such a perfect first task for this show. It's just so iconic because it's like, first of all, you get
Josh first.
You get Josh. Frank Skinner
Josh.
Frank thinks ahead. He thinks like, oh, I should go get a knife. So he goes to the kitchen, grabs a knife, cuts it open, and then politely eats some watermelon for a minute.
And Josh does that too.
Yes.
And then Roisin comes in with nothing. And you just get a watermelon on the table. So she proceeds to then leave the room, go get a knife, and then only has about 10 seconds to eat watermelon, which means that she takes a bite.
Like about half a bite of a watermelon, I'd say.
And then at some point, is also my favorite thing, which is where you get the fact that all the episodes are entirely a quote from one of the contestants, or Greg or Alex, but someone on the show said the title of the episode.
Right.
And it's my favorite thing because you're like, what the fuck prompted this?
Mm-hmm.
And then you get the quote of, what were you expecting? I don't know, I was expecting a melon buffet.
Yeah.
That's not a thing, Roisin.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get Ramesh and Tim who go in, and Tim does somewhat of a sensible thing, which is he breaks it on the corner of the table because it's a melon on a table.
Right.
And then proceeds to eat it like a crazy person.
Right.
Ramesh picks it up, swings
throws
it
on the ground,
throws it on the floor, and it
smashes
explodes
it on the ground
the way a melon would explode.
Yes.
And then
Ramesh also proceeds to go so hard on eating the melon, he throws about half of it up. Yeah.
Yes. It's truly the best first task I've ever seen.
And then we get in the first task also Alex's like weird measurement styles, because he's like, she ate about like one Mentos Rolo worth of watermelon,
which is great. So other famous things that happen in this season. 1, you get Tree Wizard.
Tree Wizard.
I'm not gonna give any context for Tree Wizard. Just go look up the people that know. Another one is truly a task that I truly think could have been a task they do every season, but was broken the first time they did it, and then I think any other time that they did it, it like underwhelmed, which was give the Taskmaster a gift.
Yeah.
I think I think they might have been, I don't know if they were trying to do this, but I think it could have been something that continued on.
Right.
Even though Josh broke it because he got Greg's name tattooed on his foot.
And it's like, how do you even do anything? How do you
top that?
How do you follow it up?
How the fuck do you top that? You don't.
You don't.
So I love season 1. I think season 1's real fun.
It's fantastic. It's so good.
I also love that the trophy at the end, because they didn't actually have a trophy, was
just
a karate trophy. I think it was a bowling trophy. I think it was a bowling trophy. You're right.
I think it's just a bowling trophy they found at a store, I guess.
Yep. Probably a thrift store somewhere.
Right.
I don't think it's perfect because 1, I think it's a little short, and 2, I think everything's a little still too simple for me.
Right.
I kind of so we didn't introduce the tiers. So the tiers for this, hi, people that don't know K-pop, these are all fun K-pop English lyrics.
Yes, and we recently renamed all our tiers this
to fun K-pop English lyrics.
Yes.
So we have our A tier, which is fuck you if you still trying to hate. Because fuck you if you hate these things.
Mm-hmm.
We have my boob and booty's hot. We have I'm good, I'm great, I work, get paid. You know, it does its job.
Mm-hmm.
This one, MTWTFSS, which is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just the days of the week.
7
Not
days a
good,
week.
not bad. The days of the week. Hot like soup.
Yep.
No. And then I'm a 5-star Michelin, which you'd think would be a good thing, but that's not how
But
Michelin
it's
stars
not,
work.
so it's bad.
Yep. I
Doesn't
want to
exist.
put season 1 in my boob and booty.
Mm-hmm.
I
It's
think
good.
it's really good. And I still think, here's the thing, a lot of the early casts, I wonder how they would do
On a 10
on,
10 episode season.
on like season 18 of the show, you know?
Yeah.
I
Because
think
these first, like, 4 casts are fantastic.
they're fantastic, and also some of them are just their friends. Especially
Yeah.
this first 2 seasons are just these people.
These are, like, friends
you
of
can
Alex.
tell-
Yeah.
Like, they're making references. You can tell Roisin and Greg know each other really well. Like, they're very good friends outside of the show. You can tell that they know these people. And
Mhm.
as the show goes on, that is not at all what it is. Sometimes there's people that they've worked with.
Mhm.
But for the most part, it's like, I mean, I feel like a lot of people just want to be on Taskmaster.
Yeah.
All right, so season
right.
2, it's, so the cast is Doc Brown, Joe Wilkinson, John Richardson, Catherine Ryan, and Richard Osman.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to give this cast credit for one thing, which is that I do think Richard Osman is the first person on the show to, like, sort of not break the task,
Right.
but, like, take the task.
He really
and think
is
real lateral with it.
Yeah.
'Cause Tim,
Richard Osman is almost, like, too smart to be on
Oh, yeah.
Taskmaster. Like,
He's
the
the
man
one
is
that-
so smart.
yeah, because Tim tried to cheat, but he
Right.
still did the task essentially almost as intended.
Right, right.
Richard Osman was like, I'm going to think lateral and I'm just gonna go for it because he's smart, and that's sort of what this show has become,
Right.
is one trying to either make the task work as intended by giving them too many parameters, or just letting people go wild.
Right.
And I do want to give him a lot of creative I do want to commend him for that.
It's also
like-
a running gag on this season that Richard Osman is like, we have 4 comedians and
Comedians.
also Richard Osman this
Because
year.
for people that don't know, Richard Osman, now is a mystery writer.
Mm-hmm.
Love that for him. And 2, I think is like, you know those experts on like panel shows? He's just like an expert on things.
He's
and
just
I'm like,
a smart
good for him.
guy.
He's just smart. Some things I absolutely love from this season, which is just when Joe throws that potato.
That potato is soul crushing.
Potato
That
Gate
potato.
is my favorite thing in the world because it's
Yeah.
so. Everything else about that task, I don't even remember who won. I don't remember what anyone else did. I love Potato Gate is my favorite.
Potato Gate. It's really soul crushing to watch on a first watch through.
Another one which also highlights my biggest problem with the season was eat an egg.
Eat an egg, yeah.
So this
Yeah,
just
yeah.
shows how simple the early tasks were, which was you had an egg in an egg cup on a table, and it's like eat an egg fastest wins.
Mm-hmm.
And so Richard, I'm going out of order, but like Richard just eats
Eats
one
it raw.
egg.
Cracks it
Eats
open,
one
eats
raw
it.
egg.
Yeah.
Yep. And then we have my biggest problem with this season, which is that I think Catherine Ryan is extremely unfunny.
She's painfully
I-
unfunny. Like,
I
I do
don't-
not like the way she plays Taskmaster. I feel like her vibe, and especially the egg task of just giving up because she thinks the other people will eat it raw, is like so against the like whole concept of the show.
And then not even that like she doesn't want it.
just-
She
I
tries
just
it
hate
and
it.
sips it and then
Yeah.
just gives up. And I'm like, you did the hard part. You have eaten raw egg.
There's another point on the show where she cries because she doesn't like sports, and I'm just like, I don't understand your entire, like, anything you're doing on this show.
I don't know. Something
And it's
about
just like,
the way
I
she
find
comes
everything
across.
painfully unfunny that she does.
And like I do think like her vibe, and I think it's also because they know who's on, because this is before they did team tasks. So they go into team tasks, I believe, the next season.
No, there's one team task here because they bring back Josh.
Oh, they bring back
for one
Josh.
of
They
them.
do one team task, but it
Yeah.
feels like that was super late into production.
Right.
Because there's only one of them, and it's not like they didn't know that they were going to meet these people.
Right.
So I don't think there was as much of like a rapport of you knowing who this person is and how they're playing the game as much as there is in current Taskmaster, because also she's not on this show with like super competitive people. She's on this show with John Richardson, who they're constantly putting down for being short. She's on the show with Richard Osman, who they're also putting down for being massive.
Yeah. Joe Wilkinson is constantly having a breakdown. Like, that's where
And
he's at the whole
also,
show.
The most committed man to the bit I've ever seen, because he doesn't break character, and to the point where I don't know if it is a character.
Right.
Like, I don't know. There's multiple people that were going to say that about him.
Yeah.
Him being the first one, but like,
Yes,
it's a
yes.
lot. So, I don't know. Her vibe just feels off. But everyone else on the season I really enjoy. I don't want to put it all the way down.
I'd put
Another task I do enjoy, which I just want to mention, is hide the pineapple on your person.
Yeah.
Which, one, I just thought was really funny, and two, also proves that I think she's really unfunny, because everyone else had so much fun with it,
I know.
and she did not.
I know. She
The
just
vibe is
really
off.
ruins the vibe of the season
Yeah.
for me.
How far down? I kind of want to do Hot Like Soup.
Yeah, I'm feeling Hot Like Soup, because I know the one season we're gonna put in 5-star Michelin.
Oh, yeah. Season
Alright.
3 I did really enjoy.
I
'cause
really like
it's
season 3. It's really
'cause
nice.
it's Al Murray, Dave Gorman, Paul Chowdhury, Rob Beckett, and Sarah Pascoe. I think this is one of the truly most fun seasons.
It's so
because
fun.
everyone is having a lot of fun. No one is out here throwing the vibe off, because some seasons have someone that throws
Paul
the vibe
kind
off.
of seems like he's not having fun, but that's part of the bit.
That's
of
part of the
Paul.
bit.
That's like that's what he's like. Yeah.
Because, like, at no point because it's when I don't like it is when some people, like, look like they're having fun when they're doing well.
Right.
And then when they don't do well, it's like, fuck.
I know.
We'll
That's
get
like,
to the person
when we're
that
too
does that a
competitive,
lot.
it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this show is just for fun. You get a weird molded Greg
You
head
get
at
a
the end.
trophy,
Like,
yeah.
you don't get a
series
prize.
series 2 is when we start the trophy as Greg's head.
Greg's head.
Yeah.
Plated gold head, if you will.
My two favorite, like, overarching storylines of season 3 is Al Murray throwing money at every
everything.
task he possibly
Yes.
can, and also Dave Gorman being a cheater always.
Always trying to cheat.
Cheating so many times over the course of
another
the
one I
season.
absolutely love is them just calling Rob and Sarah the weird Aryan twins.
Yes.
Because they put those two on a team together, and then the other 3 guys on a team together for
Right,
team tasks. And
right.
this is really where team tasks start to become a thing.
Yeah.
And those two are just fun. I mean, at one point, you just have Al Murray spending too much money to get a gong twice.
Just, he's like, because he lives near the set, and he's like, oh yeah, there's a gong rental place down the street.
At one point, also, he just pays Alex like a dog.
He
to, like,
taunts he like literally
with
taunts
money.
money in front of Alex's face to get him to move a bucket of water.
But it's
after
like not in an.
it's after
like,
Alex had explicitly told Sarah that he wasn't going to move the bucket until Al Murray came along and bribed him with money to do
I
it.
would also like to point out the editors of this show are fucking credible, because the sheer amount of footage they must have is insane. And for them to put together such good packages, like combining the right people, putting it all together, absolutely incredible.
So good.
Another one, I fucking love the surprise Alex task, because I do
Yes.
think it encapsulates all these people perfectly, where
Paul just literally sits in a box for an hour waiting for it.
because essentially it's like, but also just does, because the intro to that task is them having to do one of those Jack in the Box, and then the task comes out, and it's like, ooh, surprise, with this creepy clown.
Right.
So he just sits in the box dressed like a
Dressed
clown.
as a
When the
clown.
hour is done, Alex opens the door and he just pops out, which is the thing. Al gets the gong and is just out there
then
sitting
it's also
in his
like
underwear.
naked almost, yeah.
And then just bangs the gong.
Right.
Dave just essentially also pays the crew
To take off
all their clothes, and then he jumps out of a bush.
Fully clothed. Also.
Fully clothed. Point that out.
Yep.
Sarah seemingly
stages a murder.
Stages a murder.
Yeah.
And for 1 second, you can see Alex be like, did she kill a man?
Right.
Are we gonna have to cancel the season? Is this the
Mhm.
end of my career?
Yeah.
I mean, her first thought was to go kidnap his children.
Kidnap his children. I think multiple people said,
Multiple
go
people did
kidnap
say
his
that.
children.
And then you have the weirdest thing, which
Oh,
is
God.
Rob, who, mind you, had apparently just had a child and was on no sleep.
Yeah.
Dressed like a grandma, brought out a couch and some bookshelves. I like the decorating.
The decorations,
Like, it's not just,
yeah.
and then just essentially sprayed him down with like a water hose. It's
Yeah,
not a
it's
water hose,
super-
like a
it's
vacuum hose. It's like I
super
don't even know
weird.
what that is.
Situation, but very surprising overall.
And just cackling the whole time. And it's like so weird. It's my favorite thing.
This season also has a really memorable first task for me as well, where it's like get to the microwave with taking the fewest amount of steps. Where like Rob Beckett just rolls there, but then like throws
Vomits,
up on the way.
It's a solid. I would say it's maybe like it's got to be like half a football field. It was a significant amount.
Significantly far away. And then he does like a flip over like a metal railing. Yeah.
Yeah. Because
and then Dave Gorman just takes big steps to get there.
And then Paul Chowdhury just takes tiny steps. More steps than walking normal would take.
It's
somehow.
Very confusing what he thought the task was about.
Al, I believe, starts like rolling, at some point starts crawling, which I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why someone, I guess because they also did admit, because Sarah also does
starts cartwheeling, yeah.
And then eventually starts also crawling.
Right.
I don't know why they didn't crawl from the start. That feels like what I would do.
Yeah,
I feel like crawling.
I don't think they realized that. I think it took them a little bit to realize that they could just
It took them a hot second to realize what steps were.
Right.
I don't know. Rob makes me feel so bad because legitimately he's in pain. You can see him get worse. Can you imagine rolling that far is insane.
And then Rob also apparently had really bad luck with the weather every time he filmed Outdoor Task. It was just freezing in comparison to everybody else.
Yeah. At one point, there's one where they just have to move a bucket of water and his had ice in it.
Yeah.
Because it was so
bad
cold.
for him.
I don't know. I love this season.
Season 3 is really good.
I don't think it's. I want to reserve.
Trying to hate, but I would put it above season.
I would put it above season 1, but it's still in my boob and booty.
Yes.
All right, season 4.
Season 4 is
my god,
one of the best seasons of Taskmaster.
So the cast is Hugh Dennis, Joe Lycett, Lolly Adefope, Mel Gedrich, and Noel Fielding. My favorite cast.
What a fantastic cast. The chemistry of the cast is so good. Oh, the vibes are so good, and it's so funny.
It is so weirdly a season, and like there are certain seasons that will like go more in certain directions. This is a weirdly art-based season, and everyone is just having so much fun. Hugh Dennis is
so
a great
smart
archetype that we keep getting, which is someone that is very intelligent but very inept.
Yes. Because he sometimes does a fantastic job, like so smart figuring out the task, and at other times, complete idiot. Like the duality is fantastic.
Mel is just no thoughts, just vibes.
Mel is having like the best time of her life on this show. She truly looks like she's here having fun every single task she does.
Love that. Noel and Joe, Jesus, have a similar vibe to me, which is that they're there for fun, but they don't, like, there's not this competitive aspect that we see from some guys that we'll get to, like, especially in the later seasons that come up that are just so competitive. They're there for fun.
Right.
I think this whole task
Noel is like the best archetype of someone who is very good at Taskmaster, but also very fun to watch play Taskmaster.
Yes. And you'll see that some people who are very good at Taskmaster are not very fun.
Right, exactly.
He's very good at this show. All of them were really, like, even Mel, who was not questionable at times. It seemed like she was having a good time and understood a lot of the tasks. It always seemed like someone was excelling in a task.
Right.
And it was usually a different person.
I think this is a season where everyone wins an episode, so everyone did really well at some point in time on the show.
I always feel like they try in editing wise to like make it, because like there's so many of these where you can tell exactly who's gonna win. A lot of them are arbitrary on Greg's part.
Right.
Fair enough. But some of them, it's like, I do think they always try to have everyone win an episode.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard because they
they try really hard and then they fuck it up at the end.
Yeah.
So.
I love this season. This
It's
is
great.
the
This is a top
fuck you if
tier.
you're trying to hate.
This is
Love
a top
season
tier
so much.
Taskmaster season.
I mean, I have so many notes about this season. One, make all the ducks fall.
Yes.
Love that. They just start hurling bowling balls, and then half of them end up doing what Hugh does from the beginning, which is tie strings around them.
And then you just pull them over.
Yeah.
Also, without moving the fishbowl, also
without moving
iconic.
the fishbowl.
Yeah.
Without moving the fishbowl. It has my favorite prize task. My two favorite prize tasks we've ever gotten.
Yes.
One, which is bring the most amount of
it's so good.
Most amount of money, and Lolly just brings $2,000 in cash.
Lolly brings in at first a blank check, and she says, "I'm gonna put $1 over the highest amount here," and then she's like, "Well, just in case, here's also $2,000 in cash."
In cash.
Fantastic.
The other one, which is one that I think was just across the board really good, which is bring the best subscription.
Yeah, that was really good.
And Mel gives it to... There's also some things about the show that I don't understand because I'm not British, because I don't know what Crossrail is, but everyone's reaction in the room to her bringing a magazine about Crossrail was hilarious. Hugh bringing the cloud
watching subscription.
And then the rest of them were meat and cheese based, and I love that.
It was bacon, and then it was like grilled cheese, and then cheese. So it was like very similar,
Yeah. Underrated ones I absolutely love. Make a Taskmaster trailer, and we get an actual trailer, and Tugmeister, the Swedish crime thriller.
Yep.
What is it?
The one
garbage
where
can
the
race?
garbage can, and you have to speak a different language. That one's also great.
Camouflage yourself. Love that.
Oh, that's
Mel
great.
just hiding in the corner.
Mel just hides behind a shelf, fully visible.
The ringtone dance.
Oh, the ringtone dance is great.
And then also my favorite, because they don't often get, a lot of times they do now, get tie breaks, and I think they film like 4 or 5 tie breaks generally,
right.
And then they just pick like randomly.
They just pick one, yeah.
I love this one where Joe doesn't read it and is just like, I think I know what it is, so I'm just gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
Love that.
It's
great. It's a great season. It might be it's up there with my favorite season ever.
It's one of the best seasons of this show. It's really, really good.
Okay, season 5, another great one.
Mm-hmm.
Cast is Aisling B, Bob Mortimer, Mark Watson, Nish Kumar, and Sally Phillips.
Yeah.
The overarching, I love the storyline of the season. Nish is just inept.
Nish really is trying so hard and is doing so bad.
And like every time
Nish is having a great time.
So fun.
Yeah, Nish is having a great time on the show though. So
my 2 favorite tasks of that season are 2 where Nish succeeds, which is 1, Coconut Businessman.
Love
Coconut Businessman. Where they just have to make a coconut look like a businessman, easy as that.
Right.
And 2, write a song about this random woman, and he just comes up with like this. Him and Mark, the 2 people that were just constantly being inept.
Yes.
Just come up with this really good song about this woman.
Yeah. I love the Mark Watson special task of send the Taskmaster a cheeky text every day for 150 days that he gets 0 points for.
Because he only did like 148.
Because he misses like 2 days. Yeah, it's crushing
great.
Again, but also fantastic.
I like this season, but I don't know if it's as memorable as a lot of the other ones.
It's not. I feel like this is a season I have watched like a lot less than some of the other ones.
It's not the one I come back to as much as a bunch
Bob
of other
is
ones.
also like a super weird winner of
the thing with Bob is I know that Bob Mortimer, and I think he has like a comedic duo, is like really like revered double act, and like you can tell that everyone on this cast really likes Bob, and I think he's like a big comedian there. The same thing happened with like Frank Skinner in the first season. Yeah. You can really tell that they like really respect him, which like isn't bad, like perfectly fine, but it just, as someone who has no connection to Bob, it's really weird because also his comedy doesn't, his comedy's like really absurd. And like real weird in that kind of way, and it doesn't connect with me as much, so it's like an interesting dichotomy there. Yeah. I just feel like everybody sort of just thought Bob was always gonna win.
Right.
and was like, well, Bob's great. And I'm like, no, you could have given points to other people. Bob's was just being Bob, but I guess that's like a
Bob's
British
just
thing.
being Bob, yeah.
It seemed like a very British thing I didn't want to intervene in.
Right.
All right.
So
season 6.
Where do we want to put it?
Oh, season 5.
I'm feeling like Monday, Tuesday,
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Anything above... Here's the thing. We're only going to put one season in 5-star Michelin.
Yeah.
Anything above 5-star Michelin, I think you can watch 5 times.
Amazing.
I've probably seen 5 times.
The season going in 5-star Michelin, I have yet to finish because I dislike it that much and find it very unfunny.
Well, we're getting to it real soon, but
yeah.
Everything else I've seen at least like 5 times.
Season 2 I've seen like 3 times, even with it being in Hot Like Soup.
There's really like I still enjoy all of it. So even if we put it a little lower, it's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
So season 6, it's Alice Levine, Asim Chowdhury, Lisa Tarbuck, Russell Howard, and Tim Vine.
I love this season.
This season I love. It does also a little bit feel like season 4, but a little weird. Lesser season 4.
Lesser season 4, yeah.
Because everyone's having a great time.
Yes.
No one's taking it super seriously. I think the only person that would be Asim.
Right.
But, like, he's surrounded by these people. It's like, Russell does not give a shit. He's there for fun.
Russell's here to just have fun, yeah.
Russell is here for, like, Russell could have won. I think Russell could have easily won that show.
Yeah, if he tried a little bit.
If he tried.
Right.
He did.
Because Lisa is really good at Taskmaster.
Lisa's really good at Taskmaster.
She's really
but
good
I also
at
think Russell is really good at Taskmaster. He just, like, at
Yeah.
one point it was like, impress Greg, and his thing was like, I'm not gonna fuck your mom. I think if he tried, he could have won that show. Like, you know, he's here for fun.
I think Tim Vine is so funny.
I
Like,
think
he's
Tim
so
Vine's
funny.
real fun.
Yeah.
I even think like Alice is just like throwing curveballs in there.
Yeah,
I think she's
Alice
fun.
is really fun.
She's not. You can tell. I don't think she's as much as like a pure comedian as the other ones, because I think she's like a radio host.
Right.
But like she's keeping up with all these like actual comedians.
She's bringing like the correct vibe to this series.
Oh yeah,
still,
no.
it's still good.
Like she's bringing more straight woman energy, but still like throwing in some zings.
Right.
I love that. And it is a lot harder for, like, especially on such a comedy-heavy season, for, like, the actors and stuff to, like, shine.
Mm-hmm.
But she was really good.
Yeah.
I kind of want to put this in Boob and Booty. I really like this season.
It's a good season. What are, like, in between?
Yeah. Yeah. I think for the length, it's a little bit better than season 1.
Yeah, because it is a full 10.
Yeah, I mean...
One of my favorite things on this season is the measure the rope
Measure
task.
the rope?
And it's like, people are just, like, throwing out
numbers,
and then Tim Vine goes, I'm gonna measure it in lobsters, and then
just pull the rope.
It is so accurate, measuring in lobsters.
Another one I absolutely love is just the Hops room. The Hops escape room.
And Lisa's in the corner just solving it herself.
Just solved it by herself, and then Tim got kind of angry, but it was real fun.
Tim and Asim are just like, and Lisa's like, I've done it, and they're just like, what?
This season has some of my favorite team tasks, because you have Russell and Alice, who are good at Taskmaster. Because so many of my favorites of this season are just things which is like have the most fun, and they're like, I don't really do fun.
Yeah.
And they can easily recreate, because they did like a measured thing of like, well, you like soccer and
Alice
I like
got in a bathtub, yeah.
So like, let's just have a conversation. And the other team of Asim,
insane,
Lisa, and Tim just go crazy, and I love it.
BMXing.
There was Keep Alex Dry, where you know, Russell and Alice unhook the water, like, and then give him a dry martini and hair dry him, where the other ones try to suffocate him with a bag.
Cover him in trash bags, yeah.
Love that.
It's great.
I
The team tasks on that season are so much fun.
They're some of my favorite team tasks of all of tasks.
They
really hit gold with those tasks.
They really did. Oh my god, they were so good.
Comedy group versus like the straight people who are still having a good time.
Right.
Like at some point they're still very entertaining. So now we get season 7. So season 7 is James Acaster, Jessica Knappett, Carrie Godliman, Phil Wang, and Rod Gilbert. This is a season I think I've seen once, and Kayla has never finished.
I've never finished it. I got like 5 episodes in, and I was like, I actually hate this season. Like, I just gotta move on. And I've tried to finish it, and I'm like, it's not any better a second
It's
time.
interesting because I have seen a little bit more like British panel shows, and there's a couple people on this season that I enjoy. Mainly,
Right.
I think Phil and James are very
Phil and
funny.
James. I love James, really.
James,
like, in other
I
things.
adore in other things. Phil, I like in other things.
Phil also
Them-
in the new Wonka movie.
Randomly in the new Wonka movie,
Yeah.
we found how James in that weird Cinderella movie.
Yep.
But them.
Who is it?
mixed
Also,
with-
Lolly's in Saltburn. We also found
Lolly
that out.
isn't Saltburn. We found
Crazy.
What a weird. Yeah, we found that out. It was like a very big surprise.
Right.
We were like, "Is that Lolly?"
I was like, I'm pretty sure that's Lolly from Taskmaster.
I also love that these people had, like, the reason they're on Taskmaster is because they did other things.
Right, but we
no,
know
for
them
us, it's
solely
just
from Taskmaster. Exactly.
Absolutely. But yeah, no. I just think this combination of people, and specifically them with two people I
With
genuinely
Rod,
dislike, which is Rod and Carrie.
I don't like Carrie, and I don't like Jessica. Like, the Carrie and Jessica together really...
Carrie and Jessica I don't like together. I think
Yeah.
Jessica's less of the problem for me, as opposed to Carrie.
Carrie,
is
I do not like
much.
Carrie.
She's
Yeah.
too competitive. Rod is just too aggressive.
He's too much. Rod is
He's
like
not-
too good of friends with Greg to like really be on the
and
show.
like not in the Roisin way, in
Right.
like the Rod way, and I don't like that. His
Mhm.
comedy I just think is too like, because he's not trying to win. Like
Right.
Carrie's trying to win and being a little too aggressive about it. I don't know what Rod's getting at
There's,
here.
like-
It just makes the whole thing uncomfortable.
There's like too much of either Rod getting naked or making Alex get naked in the first few episodes, and I'm just
And then
like,
also
what?
bringing a picture
What's
of
going
Greg
on,
half
man?
naked. It's just
Yeah,
very weird.
and just like I don't like what is this?
The
Carrie is one
only-
of the people who is good at Taskmaster, but also very unfun to watch because she's good
Yeah.
at Taskmaster.
I mean, there's only like one task I can remember that I somewhat enjoyed, which was try to tie up Alex in in the last episode, and I thought that was fine.
I like the
But-
create a scene from a video game.
Oh, that one
I
was
think
fun.
That one's okay.
But
It's
like for
just
the
that-
most
I
part,
think
I
it's-
just don't like the
yeah.
energy.
The energy is weird, and I think Rod with James and Phil is, I think, also another problem because James
truly-
and Phil are trying to match the Rod energy, and I think that really throws it off.
Truly,
like, a
maybe
lot.
my least favorite, because like there's also a running list I have on here of the worst tasks on this show,
Right.
and like some of them are just uninteresting because they're like. One, I hate when they make the public involved. So, like, one of them on here is like, high five at 55-year-olds. Don't get the public involved. That's weird.
Yeah, there's a reason they did that task once and
order-
never again.
Yeah, order a pizza. Don't get the public involved. It's weird.
Yep.
Or, like, just ones that I just don't think that, like, they just kind of didn't, fill a cup with sweat. Don't love it. My truly
Yeah.
least favorite task is probably make an extension to the Taskmaster house.
Oh, it's
Where,
awful. Oh, it's so awful.
James, Rod, and Phil are on one team, and truly, I think it just because we'll get
like,
to another
what
season
are
where
they doing in that team task? Like, oh,
we'll get to
awful.
another season, and it's the next season where
Yeah.
a team task gets in.
We have a breakdown.
Cause a fight,
Yeah.
and that was an entertaining task, and I do think that they were.
They apologized
They
immediately.
apologized
to each other.
immediately. Everything was fine.
Yeah.
This made me uncomfortable, and I didn't enjoy it.
It was
So
bad. It's
it goes
bad.
it goes in 5-star Michelin. I don't like
it's
the season.
It's the only one that I do not
Again, I
enjoy.
think that if you would have gotten James on other seasons of the show or Phil on other seasons of the show, and I even think Jessica could have probably worked on other seasons of the show with different people.
Yeah.
I truly think that it was the wrong crowd.
It was those 5 people together were not the right vibe for Taskmaster.
Okay, so now we got season 8, which is Ian Sterling, Joe Thomas, Lou Sanders, Paul Sinha, and Sean Gibson. I liked this season. I thought it was a little boring.
I think it's a little
at
boring,
times.
but I think it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a little bit boring.
I mean, we have the thing that is Ian and Lou being way too competitive, which at some point involves them actually having a fight in a team task.
Yeah.
It's literally get things in a hammock, don't let them fall out.
Right.
And they just are in a screaming match at some point.
Oh, yeah.
And it's kind of entertaining because it builds, and then immediately afterward, Ian's like, I hate the person I am in that video. And I think he hates the person he is in a lot of those videos.
Yes,
He's like,
yes.
this is a problem I
This is
have,
not
I am
me.
sorry.
Yeah.
I think Joe and Sean are one of my favorite teams
It's
for one reason.
It's a really fun team.
And it's because both of them are having a good time, and they just random, at some point they talk about dentists, they talk about how, like, how's your day, like, they just go
It's just
off.
a nice pleasant time.
Yeah, love them. Paul's I just like knowing not like it, but just really funny that he the whole time had an injured shoulder.
Yeah.
I think it has some of my favorite tasks.
I really like the train station red light,
game,
green light situation. That's really fun.
I mean, I just like the baby monitor task just because Paul says hello 70 times into a baby monitor, and that's really fun.
Yes.
I think the one where they made a toy for the engage the toddler, where they just made a toy for a kid.
Yeah.
I thought that was really fun just because it was just one, I think that kid was just, like, gonna be equally engaged for everything, and two, I like that her favorite thing was just, here's some plastic ducks.
Yeah, yep.
I'll also memorize the cards, I thought was funny, because
that's really good.
It also broke down, because some of them were just good at memorizing.
Yes.
Ian broke down.
Yeah, breakdown, yeah.
I think Ian's breakdown is the best thing about the rules of threes.
Right.
Which is that, like, it went from, okay, to, I don't know if I like how, and then it just came back around to, oh, okay, this is funny again. It committed real bad.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. I don't love it as much. I think it's a little bit boring.
It's a little boring.
Do I like it more or less than season of 5? Is it good, I'm great, or is it Monday, Tuesday?
I don't know.
I kind of want to put it Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah, I feel that too.
Just because I think that there is a little bit more.
Right.
So season 9.
Season 9. This is another top tier season of Taskmaster.
We got David Baddiel, Ed Gamble, Joe Brand, Katie Wicks, and Rose Matafeo.
So good.
Ed Gamble and Rose Matafeo are two of the most competitive people on this show, and they are also two of the funniest people that have ever been on this show.
They're so. This is
so
one of the funniest seasons ever. It's every single person on the show is bringing the comedy. Like,
and every single person is, like, good at this show.
Yes.
But it's like Joe is good at this show, but, like, doesn't give a shit.
Right, Joe Brand is so good at Taskmaster, actually.
And, like, Katie's also really good at this show. She's just not nearly as competitive as the other people.
Mm-hmm.
David Baddiel is, like, questionable.
David Baddiel, I don't think is good at Taskmaster, but he's a pleasure to watch.
Funny. I love him.
So good. He's so good to watch on this show.
And, like, every once in a while, he has, like, a moment of brilliance.
Yes.
He's a little bit like Hugh, but, like, less so.
He's, like, less good than... He's, like, a less smart version of Hugh.
I don't know. He did bring his cat's ashes to the show.
Oh, he did. He did do that. And then he did also tie a bunch of wooden spoons to a lasso in hopes that it would help him lasso something better.
Yeah. I mean, him and Joe being on one. I mean, I just remember the team task where it's him and Joe.
The humiliation scavenger hunt.
The humiliation scavenger hunt where they do it. And they do it so slowly.
So slow because they get hung up on the make and eat a sandwich. Take about 25 minutes to make and eat a sandwich because they don't give a shit that they're being timed.
Yep. And then you have the other team, which just gets caught in a loop.
And then they're just actively sprinting around the Taskmaster house for 30 minutes.
4 times. Yeah, for so long. And they still win, but not by as much as they should
by
have.
like 5 minutes. It's like seeing David and Joe's attempt at that task, like, you do not expect them to lose by as narrow a margin as they did.
No. It's really funny. I mean, you have some of my favorites, which is Make the Water feature, where Ed just makes him into a weird, like, mermaid with, like, one... It's real funny.
It's weird. There's so many things here, because it's also, the other one I also like is when they're given all the popsicles, but they're blindfolded, and they're like, you can rearrange these in rainbow order, but you can only take off your blindfold if you find and accuse the dodo, or there's like so many steps to it. Yeah. And then the only person to, like, get it is Ed, but then Ed does not put them in rainbow order, even though he can see them. And
even though he can see them, and also, I don't think he realizes this, but the rainbow is in front of it.
Right.
He at no point looks at the front of the thing.
Yes.
I mean, I also love the another great what's it called? Live task, which is horse or laminator.
Yes.
I don't know why I had a great time with the fact that Joe at some point was just reading Greg's mind and was like,
yes.
horse or laminator.
Uh-huh.
Love that one.
That's a great one.
Do something with a chickpea, and we both got Ed fucking a chickpea and Rose burying a chickpea.
Yeah,
It was beautiful.
Crazy.
I
Great
also,
season.
another one I love, which was the 7-part task at the last episode.
Oh, that's such a good, like, last task of the show. It's so good.
It's so funny, because it's just set up, Rose does it super easily, because she just gets them in the right order.
Right.
And then Ed has to do the whole thing twice.
Ed's in this horrible loop, yeah.
And it is funny, because it is someone having a bit of a breakdown, but it's real fun.
It is.
I love it.
It's great.
I
this
think
is a fuck you
season.
season.
It's a fuck you season.
This is a top tier Taskmaster season.
It's so good.
So funny.
All right, next is the COVID era.
We hit the COVID era of Taskmaster.
So season 10, we have Daisy Mae Cooper, Johnny Vegas, Catherine Parkinson, Moan Rizwan, and Richard Herring. This was fine. I think... So, the thing that happened was, I believe halfway through the season when they were filming it, COVID hit.
Yeah.
Which is why the team task for one team is
it's
not...
like fine, and then the other
fine.
one is weird, yeah.
Which, again, my favorite thing is that one of the tasks was gross post-COVID.
Yeah.
Because one of the tasks was feed each other watermelon.
Yeah.
And you can tell, I think, for the 10th season, they were calling back to the first task. But,
right,
like, in a post-COVID world where you have to feed each other watermelon at a distance.
Yeah.
Real weird.
I like the one way around the like, open the, it's like find the treasure or something, but, like, they just put Johnny Vegas up on a chair and just had him do a completely
Yeah, they just put him
task.
on, like, an umpire's chair and we're like, you do your own thing.
Just,
you're
gonna sit here and,
you're
just gonna sit here and do a different task.
Yeah. Again, I just think you had not a lot of people that were good at, because the only two people that were good at Taskmaster were Richard and Daisy.
Yeah. Daisy also heavily pregnant while filming.
No, at some point in that live task, I'm like, Daisy's about to, like,
she's
Daisy
about to
was
go into
laughing
labor
so hard, she was either gonna pee or give birth.
I think that one of my favorite parts of the seasons is just, like, heavily pregnant Daisy Mae Cooper laughing as much as she does in the recordings.
She laughs
like,
so hard.
So funny.
I mean, I think it was just, like, a good thing.
Johnny Vegas, I think, is really funny.
I think Johnny Vegas is super funny.
He's having a breakdown always.
That he falls over in that season is a lot. I worry.
He takes a lot of falls in the season, yes.
He's also one of the few people on this season that I do think, like, because there's a lot of people that are bad at Taskmaster. Like, David Baddiel is bad at Taskmaster.
Right.
Hugh Dennis was bad at Taskmaster. Phil was bad at Taskmaster. Who else was bad at Taskmaster that has already happened? That's really Nish was bad at Taskmaster. Every once in a while, they got the win.
Right.
I don't think Johnny got his win, which does make me a little sad.
He does.
Not like an episode win. No, I don't mean an episode win. I mean like a big moment where he's like, I've succeeded.
There is one.
Which
because
one?
I rewatched. I don't remember it, but I do remember him coming in first place like an absurd amount of times in a row for a couple of them.
Yeah, I just feel like there's not the moment I can think back on that's like Nish's song or whatever, or like, I don't know. I just feel like there's moments for everybody else. I just think that this season kind of just falls by the wayside for me. I kind of want to put it in I'm good, I'm great. I think it's good. I just don't think it's like...
It's not as good as these other ones.
Yeah, there's not an oomph to it.
Yeah.
All right, season 11. We got Charlotte Ritchie, Jamali Maddox, Lee Mack, Mike Wozniak, and Sarah Kendall.
Mm-hmm.
This one is...
It's fine. It's a fine season.
I
think
like
Mike Wozniak like hard carries the season.
Oh yeah, no. My everything I have on my list of favorite tasks from that season, is Mike Wozniak related, which is get all the plates on the table, which is him on that hoverboard.
Yeah, it's so good.
Have an argument, which is him and Lee just like having a weirdly
words.
coherent argument.
Yeah, but also just saying words at each other.
The airplane safety video where he was just German.
Yes, for some reason.
Actually spoke real German.
Real German.
And, like, funny real German.
Yeah.
And then like the 3-word blindfold where he fell into a bunker.
Oh yeah, he
that
tried
one
to
is also
he
funny.
tried to run up a hill and then just fell backwards.
Well, yeah, and then also that one is funny for the other team because Sarah
just completely loses control of what's happening in
because
that
there's
task.
two of them and they're not. I just think that Sarah, Jamali, and Charlotte did nothing for me, to be honest.
No, they don't do a lot.
Sarah is good at she admits it in the season. Sarah's good at Taskmaster, but not entertaining.
Right.
Jamali, there's multiple people on this show that are
boring.
mean. But there's also the thing that wasn't as much with him, and we'll see that go on more as we go. It happens a bit. Like, Ed would be mean to Alex. Like, certain people would be very mean to Alex at times, and, like, that's part of the bit of the show.
Right.
Starting this season with Jamali, there's usually, like, one person on this show
like really
that seems to genuinely dislike Alex. Like, that's part of the bit, and that's not part of the bit of the show.
Right.
You aren't supposed to genuinely dislike Alex. You aren't supposed
to despise the Taskmaster's assistant. That's
like,
not the
I
show.
understand that that's, like, how you can get some points, but, like, sometimes it just feels a little...
Yeah.
Jamali doesn't do it as much as, like... I think the next season has someone that does it more and that annoys me more.
Right.
But he starts that... And I do think it's been building over the seasons, but it's a trend I don't like in not as much very recent Taskmaster, but like
the next couple seasons.
That happens a bit and I don't like it. I think this one is maybe I don't know. Mike carries.
Mike
but
does
it's not,
carry it. I think it's either
Mike
the
and
bottom
Lee a little bit.
Yeah, Lee is also pretty fun. I think I put it at bottom of Monday, Tuesday, or top of Hot Like Soup. One of those two.
I kind of want to. I probably like it as much as I like season 2. I probably would put it in Hot Like Soup. That's mainly for Mike and Lee. They thrive.
Right.
All right, season 13.
12.
So that is 12. Sorry, I just skipped over one. Sorry. Alan Davis, Desiree Burke, Guz Khan, Morgana Robinson, and Victoria Coren Mitchell. Guz Khan is one of my least favorite of the I Hate Alex trends.
Morgana also is in the I Hate Alex like realm as well.
Yeah.
Like both of them are doing it.
Both of them do it. And neither of them succeed for me that much.
Yeah.
Even though that season I thought Greg was in love with Morgana.
Yeah.
Truly speaking, Greg loves her.
Loves Morgana. Yeah.
And I don't understand it because she really wasn't. Like, for me,
Desiree was really good, though.
Desiree was thriving, and
Desiree
I
is
loved
both
Victoria.
good. Yeah, Victoria's great. Victoria's not good at Taskmaster, but Victoria's delightful to watch.
But, like, the thing with Victoria's good at any like, she solved one of the tasks by herself that was a team task.
Right. Like, Alan was just there.
I also love Alan in that season.
Alan's also great.
But, like, the person that Greg seemed to gravitate toward the season was Guz and Morgana, and I'm like, why? Mm-hmm. Morgana was just like getting random like extra points for no reason. It was very
and that's why Morgana wins is because of all the extra points. She wins by like 1 point or something like that.
Desiree should have won that season. Desiree with the ducks.
Oh, she's so good.
Her throwing those ducks at that balloon.
So good.
The solve the riddle where Victoria does it by herself, and then also the fact that Victoria. How the fuck did Victoria not get? We gave Morgana an extra point for saying "fuck you, Alex," but they didn't give Victoria an extra point for learning to ride a bike. On
the show, yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous. I think again, I love 3 of them. 2 of them just do absolutely. I don't dislike Guz and Morgana. I think they're fine,
right?
But they don't really do any. Like,
they don't do anything for me.
Usually, the people that win these seasons are people that are good at Taskmaster. Like Sarah wins, and she's good at Taskmaster.
Right.
To spoil it, Sophie in season 13 wins, and she's just good at Taskmaster.
Right.
Dara wins, and he's good at Taskmaster. May wins, she's good at Taskmaster.
Right.
I don't think Morgana's that good at Taskmaster.
Desiree feels like she's better at Taskmaster.
She is better at Taskmaster.
I would have loved to see her on Champion of Champions.
I know, I would have loved it. I think for the 3 people I like, I kind of want to put it in I'm good, I'm great.
Yeah.
Because the 3 people I like, I really like. 10, below season 10, absolutely.
But still there, yeah.
But still there because I
think overall there is enough good, like, very fun task in season 12, too.
13, we got Ardell O'Hanlon, Bridget Christie, Chris Ramsey, Judy Love, and Sophie Duker. No, I was wrong. Gus is not my least favorite of the
Yeah, no,
I
it's
Hate
Bridget,
Alex trend.
yeah.
It's Bridget. I tend to, like, cross Bridget out of my mind
Right.
just because she seems to genuinely dislike Alex. And, like, the way she talks to him is just really... I don't like it.
It's like, Bridget is also bad at Taskmaster in a way that isn't funny. It's like, she's
She's bad at Taskmaster in a way that she thinks she's good at Taskmaster.
Right.
Like, at no point in her attempt does she be like, I'm really fucking this up, aren't I?
Right.
Like, no, she gets mad at the task for not conforming to what she's doing.
What I feel like a person I compare it to is like Nina in Taskmaster Russell Shirley season 1. Nina is so bad at Taskmaster because she just doesn't read. She doesn't read half the tasks most of the time.
She does it in a like.
But
she's in a fun, in her,
yeah, she does it in like a very fun, endearing kind of a way. Where Bridget does it, where she reads the task, just doesn't do the task with full confidence, and then is mad. It's like...
No, I think the difference between Nina and Bridget, for me, is that Nina thinks she's doing the absolute right thing that the task said, and she's like, I'm doing great. This is so much fun.
Earnestly.
And then Bridget's like, the one that goes in my mind is like record on the pedometer.
Oh yeah.
Where she has, and she's like, well, how can I step? And it's like, you at no point stepped and you're getting mad at this piece of equipment.
Right.
And Alex, you did not step like a normal person at any point.
Right.
It just felt very, what is going on
here?
And
she feels like, it's not even like she feels too smart. It's like she feels like so dumb that she's like missing the point.
There's too much confidence there.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I think that they brought in, because I think that
the rest of this cast besides her, I think, is fantastic. It's a fantastic cast otherwise.
Because I do think that they brought in Ardell to be the bad at
the bad old man, the David Baddiel, Hugh Dennis, Johnny
archetype.
Vegas of the season. Yeah.
But, like, he was decent at Taskmaster. He did pretty okay.
He's pretty good. He also has a lot of really good, like, one-liners on, like, the live recordings of everything.
Chris kind of felt a little bit like your Ed Gamble, like, who else was there? Like, the
he's
kind
like
of
a Rob
that,
Beckett,
wants to win, Rob Beckett.
Joe, like, Lycett type. He's in that archetype of person.
Yeah. Who's, like, just good and just doing thing. Judy Love, I think, is absolutely fucking hilarious.
Judy
I
is
love her so
one
much.
of my favorite people to ever play Taskmaster.
Judy, I adore Judy because Judy
so good.
Because Judy goes into this, and we'll see this on recent seasons where they're like, I don't know what Taskmaster is. David Baddiel went on this show without knowing what the show was, and didn't even know what the theme song was, and I love that about it.
Love that for
But
him.
Judy, I don't think went into that show not knowing what it was, and I think she left that show not knowing what it was.
Yeah.
And I love that for her. Sophie Duker, I do think that she's just good at Taskmaster.
She's just good, and it makes her a little bit not interesting to watch because she's so good at it.
She's more entertaining than other people in this just good at Taskmaster era.
For sure.
I think she's better.
Yeah,
she's more interesting than Sarah and May.
Definitely, yeah.
So I do think she's more entertaining.
Yes.
Like, her and Chris were kind of the two where I'm like, either of you are gonna win, and I like both of you equally. Right.
Judy just doesn't... Judy is, I think, one of the only people to never win an episode of Taskmaster, and I kind of love
her and Nish.
I love that for her.
Other thing. Oh, the Find the Ducks.
Find the Ducks is one of the best Taskmaster has ever done. It's so good.
It's amazing. It is truly just true insanity, and I love everything about it.
Yes. Oh, it's so good.
So where do we want to put 13?
13, it's either in Boob and Booty or I'm Good, I'm Great. It's in this realm, but I don't know where.
I kind of want to put it in I'm Good, I'm like top of I'm Good,
top
I'm Great.
Top of I'm Good, I'm Great.
Just because I don't think the task writing is on par with the other three.
Some of the tasks are a little bit boring.
Some of the tasks are a little bit boring, and I do think that this is the era where they kind of got a little too hung up on, well, we want them to do it a certain way, so we're going to add a bunch of parameters. Mm-hmm. And I do think that makes it less exciting.
The people, I think the personalities of season 13 are really what makes it so good, rather than the task itself, I think. Yeah.
All right, so season 14. 14 was Dara Breen, Fern Brady, John Kearns, Munya Chihuahua, and Sarah Milliken. I think this was a pleasant season.
It's pleasant, yeah.
And that's what I can call it. Like,
it is very pleasant. Yeah, I feel that's a good descriptor of it.
like I didn't have a lot of super strong opinions.
Dara's very very
dominates.
Good. He's so much better at Taskmaster than like most people to ever play Taskmaster.
Yeah.
And he also win champion of champions.
It almost comes from a place of I've prepared for this.
Right. But he's
which
also
does
very
make the season a little bit boring to me.
Right. The fact that he's so good,
dominant.
It makes it like very boring to watch in the way that he's always going to do so much better, but he is also entertaining to watch at least. He is very funny.
He's very entertaining.
Yeah.
I think Fern was fun.
Fern's really fun. John was on a rewatch. I like John more and more because he's so weird and like having a breakdown always.
The bit's fun.
Yeah.
He's another one where I'm just like, oh, I like the bit.
Yes.
But sometimes I'm like, damn, why you
worry
gotta
for
do
him.
that to him?
You worry for him. Yeah.
The
one team. Munya has the running bit of like in Zimbabwe.
In Zimbabwe, when I was in Zimbabwe, because in Zimbabwe.
That's like his cop out answer to everything, which I think is very fun.
I enjoy it. Again, I just think that it's so dominated by Dara.
Yeah.
That I'm like a little less. Not that it's bad. I just wish it was a little more equitable.
Right.
Because also this season was so much. Because it's like. Was this the first? Yeah, it was like the first post-COVID, post-COVID restriction season.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit.
Right.
Because the live tasks are finally back to not being socially distanced.
Right.
Which is fine. But I do think them in that airplane hangar was a little bit
it was like, we're just gonna use it because we have it available. Yeah.
Again, I think that the tasks were not as inventive, and I don't think this cast was as good as the last task to elevate it.
Right.
I think that's finally what I've realized.
Sarah's very nice. She's pleasant, but she's very boring at times because she seems like such a nice person that it's a little bit boring.
I think the main thing with Sarah was always that I enjoy her, and I think Sarah is really funny in her, because she's a comedian. She's really funny in her sets. I feel
in this kind of environment, she's not as funny.
Yeah,
situational humor type situation.
Yeah, I think that this has the same problem I have with the last season. It just doesn't have the cast of the last season to elevate it.
Right. The big highlight of this season was that one team task where they told John to sabotage it.
Oh, to sabotage it? Yeah.
And it's just that one is one I always remember. Yeah. I think that was very fun.
I kind of want to put this in Monday, Tuesday, because it's not bad.
Everyone's pleasant. Top of Monday, Tuesday-ish. Or it's
middle. I kind of like season 8 a little bit more. That had more energy.
Right.
All right. What are we up to? Season 15.
Season 15.
Frankie Boyle, Ivo Graham, Jenny Eclair, Kyle Smith-Bino, and Mae Martin. So the only person in this cast that I think is boring is Mae. Everyone
else
so
boring.
Is thriving.
Yeah.
Everyone else is here for fun. They're here to play. They're here to do weird shit.
Jenny
Mae
Eclair
is here to win.
Mae's here to win, and it's
she's the Sarah without the self-awareness.
Yeah.
Because Sarah will at least say, I know I'm not being that entertaining. It's fine. And Mae, I don't think ever. There's points where I think Sarah failed. Really didn't get did poorly. I can't think of a situation where Mae did that. And that's I think a situation where Dara was really you did not do this.
I have a new appreciation for Kyle after seeing him on Champion of Champions too, because I do think him being there instead of Mae made that whole episode way more funny.
I mean, given that he does so good. I mean, given that otherwise that Champion of Champions would have been Dara, Morgana, Sarah, and Sophie, and Mae.
Yeah.
Oof. Kyle brings the energy.
Kyle does bring a really unhinged energy, and it's really good.
I think you can appreciate it more on Champion of Champions because he's not trying to beat Jenny and Ivo and whatever hell Frankie Boyle
whatever Frankie's doing on that show.
I love Frankie on that show because Frankie is another person I think is super respected in British comedy.
No clue what he's doing this entire season. No clue what's going on.
Truly is here for his bit of, and I'm here for fun. Him and Ivo make one of my favorite teams.
That's a great. There's a weird duo of men. Like, it's so
I know.
funny.
They almost feel like they mentioned in the show they feel like a father and son. They feel like a father and son.
They feel like estranged father and son. Like, it's very.
I mean,
very weird.
I don't love when they just go to a random location, but them having to like drive a barge, which I still don't fully understand what a barge is, to be honest. I don't know what its purpose is.
That barge task is so good.
I also love them breaking the barge.
Yes.
And then just being like, brace!
Brace! Jenny and Claire ramming into the side of a river. Brace!
Doesn't try to stop at any point. She has the wheel that didn't break. Also, them having to present, like, pick a year. Okay, make a presentation on that year. And then just Ivo being like, and I'm inbred.
Yes.
Because apparently he's very wealthy. I think it's absolutely hilarious. I think the only thing that brings down is I think May is just a little too boring. But like when 4 out of 5 are amazing, I love it. Is it I'm good, I'm great, or boob and booty?
I feel like it's good, I'm great, probably.
I think it's good, I'm great.
Yeah. Where in?
I kind of want to put it low because, again, I'm comparing it to the one we have right next to it, which is 12, and that's Alan Davies and Desiree and Victoria.
It does feel worse than that season.
It doesn't go. Now we have season 16, the newest season. We got
one of the best seasons in a while.
We got Julian Clary, Lucy Beaumont, Sam Campbell, Sue Perkins, and Susan Wokoma. I love this season so much. I think this season was so good.
So good.
You have Julian, who is just good at Taskmaster.
He is.
And hilarious. Sam is
so funny.
unintentionally good at Taskmaster, I feel like. Because I don't think he wanted to win or was trying.
He's like so unhinged, but in like a great way for Taskmaster.
But also, I think it's like the best season because there's like, no, I wouldn't call, look at the past winners that we've just had. We had May, we had Dara, we had Sophie, and we had Morgana.
Yeah.
Sam does not fit those people.
No, Sam is in a completely other realm of personality.
Sam is not just good at Taskmaster. Sam is weird and
He's
also good at Taskmaster.
What a weirdo, yeah.
We had the two Sues who were amazing. One of my favorite bits is that Susan went to Rada. Yes. I didn't even know what Rada was. But it was funny to me.
The Sue team is top tier. Top tier team task of the Sues. Like, good.
Also, I think they finally went back to simple tasks. It was, can you build a can tower?
Right.
But the fun thing was you already had a tower built, and then you just...
and then you knock it over when you walk into the room.
I think that's how you do fun things now.
Right.
Is that you just make the obstacles. Don't, like... Or when they had to, like, put the duck in the pond, but, like... It's like this weird winding road.
Or then it's like get the golf in the golf hole, but like Alex is standing in front of it.
But Alex is standing on the hole, what else we got? We got get underneath things. Which is somehow
I'm underneath it.
I'm underneath it. Julian getting underneath all of the crew.
Yes. The Taskmaster Hotel has got to be one of the best team tasks in a while. It is fantastic. That entire.
I mean, we had just
the
like
duality of the teams as well is insane.
Amazing. We had my favorite, which is make the googly-eyed gang.
Yes.
Those were amazing. Loved that.
This is both great task rating and great cast.
Again, I think the tasks. As you can see from what our favorite seasons are, I think the tasks are the best when they are simple.
Yes.
When they are simple tasks and you can let people run wild with their creativity.
I think 2 of my favorite tasks on the show are eat the most watermelon and find the ducks. Like, that's all they need to be. That's all you need for Taskmaster. And also,
like, there was the one that's like, okay, write animals on this dice. We're gonna ask a random question.
And then you're gonna roll your dice. Yes, that one's also great. I love that.
I love when Sam bribed a child with, like, $200.
Yes.
Love that.
Do love that as well.
Again, I don't like when they bring in the public, but I like when it's a specific member of the public that is in on it. Like that toddler. Right. Or the one time they brought the dog
their dog,
in.
Yeah.
Or the one time that they just brought like a 9-year-old.
There's that like one fine. Swedish man who is always who's like a reoccurring Swedish man.
We love him.
Yes.
But, like, I don't like when they go out and, like, whenever they're like, all right, I'm going out into the public and getting a random, like, courier.
Right. When
Leave
you
that man
start
alone.
bothering the public, it's like, okay.
I don't love it.
Yeah.
I think 16 is enough for fuck you.
Yeah, 16,
think
it's
the fuck
the
you season.
bottom of fuck you, but it's like, it's a really good
It's so
season.
good.
Yeah.
I love that season. So our favorite seasons are season 4, season 9, and season 16, and by far the worst is season 7.
Yeah, but not a long shot at season 7.
By a long shot at season 7.
Yep.
But, like, again, I would recommend watching.
All
if you
of
can
them.
stomach through season 7 once, I'd recommend it. But, like, I would not oppose if you couldn't. Rod's too much.
He is too much, and he's bringing. I think him and Carrie are like changing the energy of what the season.
And
could
the thing
be.
is, like, you can't watch anything without them in it because they're both on opposite teams.
Yeah,
It's not even that there's like a team task without them.
I know.
All right,
But that's
So
been Taskmaster seasons, everybody.
yay!
Hooray. Watch Taskmaster. It's a great show.
Watch
what else,
Taskmaster.
what else
It's
is there
on
to say?
YouTube for free.
For free.
For free.
Very fun. But with that, this is just a little introduction to all of the other Taskmaster episodes we will be making this year. So
Oh, we'll be making a lot of Taskmaster.
will be more of this type of
content.
content, of course. But we are available on all major podcasting platforms like Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We also have a YouTube channel where we put all of our episodes along with fun clip videos occasionally. And with that, we will see you guys in the next episode. Bye!
Bye!